Before this episode begins, I want you to know that some of the things you may hear in this episode are spooky. They're all real, as told by Caitlin McDevitt, a very trustworthy stand-up comedian. Arguably, stand-up comedians are horrible people who do lie for a living, but not Caitlin.
I lie a little.
You lied a little during this?
No, I lie a little in my life, but I didn't lie during this.
That's her first lie on, I don't know if we can believe anything she says now. But so we're going to start this off. It's going to be it's a long episode, about an hour and a half of about 30 minutes of background on the asylum, and then followed by about an hour of her whole story within the asylum. And there's some spooky shit that occurs. Keith cries more than once, followed by some haunted would you rather's, maybe lighten the mood a little. And so let's get the episode started. Keith, will you give me some spooky noises while I do this intro?
Hell yeah.
Okay. Welcome to the Shrimp and Grits podcast, Halloween edition with Jack Schwartz and Keith Corey. I thought he was gonna say it.
Hey, Keith, I'm sorry, I'm deep in character.
No, you're good.
And Keith Corey.
And our very special guest, our first returning guest to the episode. Welcome, Caitlin McDevitt.
I'm so excited.
What's another spooky sound? Like a mouse?
That was the least spooky of them.
I wish I could do a door creaking noise, like. Hell yeah.
And wait, hold on, real quick. Thunder crash. I was gonna do it over the. I'm gonna add.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. I'll just do it over. You add it to it, and I appreciate that. So
And
this
then,
is
lightning bolts.
this is a
Lightning
very.
bolts.
Oh, wait, first of all, you can say hi.
Hi, I'm Caitlin.
This is Caitlin. Caitlin's been on before, and when the first time we had her on, she ran us through what she was about to do, which was go to what's the name of the lunatic asylum?
The Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum. I'm wearing this shirt.
She's rocking the merch.
Merch, baby.
And
I
she was
spilled some
about to
paint
go
on.
there for the second time?
For embarrassingly the fourth time.
That is embarrassing.
It's not embarrassing. That's what you like.
I make a semi-annual pilgrimage, although this was my last time for a while.
Well, because it was too spooky this time.
That would be.
In a word, yes.
Okay. But so she was about to go there last time, and we were talking all about it. She was giving us the history of it. So if you haven't listened to that episode, feel free to go back and listen to that episode. But I feel like this episode will also be a complete episode because you went there now.
Yes.
And let's just start wherever you feel ready.
Okay. Disclaimer, I did go a few months ago, so if I get anything wrong, I'm sorry.
Just lie and make it cooler.
Okay. So the main building of the Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum in Weston, West Virginia is about a mile long from one end to the other end. And what happens...
That was more like 3 feet.
I know, but I'm going to use... Okay, so the main building, their main part is your chest, and then there's a wing that's your arm, and then another wing, or then another ward that's your next part of your arm.
Typical hospital layout.
Yeah. And there are windows on both sides. So it's very long and narrow, not very wide.
Okay. I'm
And
imagining
there are-
the hallway of in that famous horror movie with the twins.
Oh, you talking about
The Shining.
The Shining.
The Shining.
Come
The
play
Shining.
with us. Yeah.
Okay, sorry, go on.
And there are only stairs at the joints, right? So there's not stairs at the very end. So if you wanted to get from one fingertip to the other fingertip, you'd have to travel back up to the elbow.
Okay. You know what? Hey, I'll throw up a little map right here. Little map.
I'm
Just
because I'm
so you can
picturing
get your
it, so I know
bearings.
what you mean.
Okay.
Right, you can get your
Yeah.
bearings though.
Just because that will be relevant.
Oh wait, it's also on your shirt.
Yeah.
So that there.
in order to get from one to the other. But for the people who are just listening, imagine traveling from your right hand to your left hand, but through your elbows.
Kind of looks like the White House, but really long.
Interesting. I would say that they
On your
are
shirt.
both structures.
They're in that they're both buildings.
They are both buildings.
Okay, I'm there.
And they
I
were
feel like I'm
both
there now.
constructed in the 1800s.
Okay, so we're starting with
similarities
starting with
really
the
fall
layout.
apart
But
there.
are you gonna? I feel like just to make it a complete episode, are you gonna give us a general background?
Yes, so we're all picturing the same building before we get into this.
Yeah, I'm there.
Okay. Because we only toured the main structure. So this is an overnight ghost experience at Weston State Hospital, or Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum. my friend Mary, who's a little slutty for ghosts, and I've paid $100 for this experience, but we've gone a couple of times. It was first opened in 1858, and it started as a hospital with honestly very good intentions. They wanted to be a sanctum for people who were struggling.
Lunatics.
At the time, they were called that.
Wacky bitches.
So they took people people with dementia, like children of the state, and anything like that. And it became a truly horrific experiment in the downfall of what people can do to each other.
As much of medicine in the 1850s, I imagine.
In the 1950s is really when things fell apart, but yeah.
Really? I feel like 1850s, they were like, oh, he's got a cold, bury him for 6 months.
So at the time, 1850s, your cure for a lot of things was like, what if you got some fresh air?
Yeah. That's actually kind of accurate now. We've kind of come back to that full circle.
They're not wrong.
Yeah. Can I ask you something real quick? So I'm what you would call a moron. Keith?
I think I'm pretty smart.
I think he's pretty smart.
So, but we don't really know history. That's a fact.
Yeah, I definitely don't know no fucking
So what was America like in 1850? Can you give us just a brief synopsis, if you will?
Sure. A lot was happening in 1850. The South had seceded.
Tensions were high.
I'm just over here trying to bottle it in. Yeah, motherfucker, it was high.
Things were going not well.
Things were better for some people and worse for others.
No one was doing the right thing.
We all knew what happened.
Who was president in the late 1850s? Abe Lincoln.
Abraham
when they made
Lincoln.
This. Okay.
So what had happened was the state of Virginia got money to build a hospital. The North, hearing that Virginia was going to secede, reached out to contacts in what would now be known as West Virginia, and West Virginia decided to secede from Virginia. They were like, we are not going to side with the South. We think the South is wrong. We're on the north side of this issue.
Right side of history.
I know. We really gloss over that in the history of West Virginia. They really started on a good foot.
Right. It didn't hold up, but
it's as a person who's also from a rural space that doesn't always make the right choices, it doesn't mean that they don't want to. It just means that, and a lot of people are in one place. Sometimes the loudest voices are the worst.
Fair enough. Yeah.
But in this case, they did the right thing, and they were like, we don't want to do this. And so actually the money that they used to start West Virginia was coming from the building of this building.
Okay. So it's a big element.
It's a very big part of the West Virginian history.
If you're from West Virginia, you just know this stuff about this, do you think?
Probably. So I don't think people from West Virginia have the pride that say Texans have for their state, but this would probably be covered generally in fourth grade history.
Okay.
Some other things were going on. Tuberculosis was really big.
Ooh, love a little TB.
They actually had a tuberculosis hospital that only focused on tuberculosis.
Okay. Unrelated to this hospital.
On the same campus as the hospital.
They had a wing for it.
Yeah, they had a whole separate building.
Okay. Good that they knew that, at least, that you have to separate that.
I mean, they didn't.
Have to separate it?
They didn't really know that it's airborne, and it definitely traveled all through the campus.
But they're it's a different.
They didn't have
different room.
They didn't have different doctors who worked on.
Wash your hands.
We knew kind of, but not really.
Right.
I'm pretty just how COVID is now. They're still learning. It was probably their version of COVID.
Yeah, they were we know blood is gross, but you don't actually have to wash instruments in between people.
Right.
Yeah.
So put on a crazy mask.
Yeah.
Made of wood.
For sure.
Right.
And then as time went on, it became treatments changed, right? So this is a place that would have discovered talk therapy for shell shock soldiers or PTSD. But it was also a place that lobotomies were performed. So the guy who invented the lobotomy method, I'm using.
Have you ever tried that? I've always thought about getting into that.
Lobotomy?
Yeah.
Do you mean shock therapy?
No, I mean lobotomy. I've always considered myself a bit of a lobotom.
What do you think lobotom means?
screwdriver in your head?
Yeah. Well, it's more of an ice pick, but yeah.
Okay. Well, right. They didn't have screwdrivers. Well, I guess they did.
So
they didn't have
you would
drills.
go in. I'm doctor air quotes in between the eye,
Yeah.
Right.
and then you would scramble the brain.
And
About
that didn't work.
30% of people died immediately on the table.
Of course, it's your brain.
That's the risk you take. It's so
I'm surprised it's not
stupid.
more.
Another like 20 or 30 would die within a week or two.
Oh my God, what a rough week that is.
So he could do 200 a day. So basically, the moment he walked into the building, 60 people dead immediately.
That's fucking nuts.
And he did not do it based on charts. He just walked up and down a hallway and like pointed at people.
And
The
he's like,
youngest
"Ah."
person he performed a lobotomy on was 4 years old.
That's so sad, man.
Man, that's a little dark. This is a comedy podcast, Caitlin.
That's so sad.
I think what I really like about this place of history is that my friend Mary is very into like the ghosts of it, and I
Ghost
think
slut.
the like real history of this place is so sad that you don't need ghosts to like feel something.
Yeah.
Right. It's kind of like going to Auschwitz or something.
Yeah, like this is
Not
a
quite as
testament
bad.
of this is a testament of people who lived secret, painful, terrible lives, and they were purposefully kept out of the view of society. And like how you treat disabled people is really an indictment of how you think of people, because like we will
Yeah.
all become disabled at some point in our lives. And like for a long time it was very common to send disabled people to just get them out of our lives, and like this is a place where they were sent. It's also where you would go for poverty, right? Like your husband left and you don't have any way of making money. You have a couple of options. You're either going to do something illegal and get caught and your kids will get taken away from you, or knowing you can't afford to take care of your kids, you might give them up to the state initially, and now they're shackled 4 deep to a radiator in West Virginia. And I think I covered this last time, but this was also a great way to get rid of your wife and kids.
Yeah.
If you wanted to
I
divorce.
do. I recall this part probably better than other parts. That he was like, my wife
Because you were just taking
is
notes.
crazy.
You were like, this is so good to know.
She sleptwalked the other day, so put a drill in her nose and
I don't really want to be a dad anymore, so I'm just going to drop it
I
off
don't want to be a
and
daddy.
peace out.
these kids are crazy, Doc.
You got a cash reward for turning someone in.
Really, like sending it, like
That's
bringing a
even
gun
more
to a police station?
incentive. Like,
Yeah. So you got like a couple bucks for turning someone in, which at the time was worth a lot more. It was like $50 or $100 or something at the time, like equivalency. And so you could call in like your neighbor that you're having a fight with, or like you just, like drive around and like pick up homeless people and like take them and turn them in for money.
That's some
Yeah.
fucked up shit.
It's literally like collecting the carts at an airport
Yeah.
and bringing them in, but with human beings. Yeah, this
Anyway,
is a dark
let's get
place.
some ghosts.
Yeah, I'm about to say, you explaining this.
Well, so go ahead.
So the building shut down permanently in 94.
Okay.
And a lot of really horrific things happened in the building, separate from all the horrific things I just said.
Wait, real quick, just to heads up.
yeah.
So I want to cover our foundation,
Yeah.
and then we'll cut to a commercial break, and then we'll
Okay.
get
So
going
I'm
again.
not going over ghosts. This is just some
Okay.
like real things that happened
Gotcha.
that we like didn't interact with any ghosts over. A nurse went missing for a couple of months and was discovered dead in a stairwell, and no one had found her for several months, which I think is a real testament to how horrible this place must have smelled.
And the custodians clearly not doing their due diligence.
Well, I don't know how many custodians could really clean this building, but
And the crazy shit is the stairwell shit that you explained. Like, you have to go use a stairwell to go to different. How do you not notice that?
I feel like they would walk into that stairwell and be like, "It smells in here. Let's use the other stairwell."
yeah.
You know? I mean, think about this though. Like, Keith, if your house was a mile, how many rooms are you really going in? It's kind of how I'm thinking.
For one,
about it.
that's real shit.
Yeah.
Two, that's the reason why I won't get a big house. Like, if
Yeah.
I had like a mansion, like my family has to live with me.
Yeah.
It was crazy overcrowded. The building was designed for 150 people over 3 floors, and at its peak, it had almost like 2,000 people living in the main building.
2,000 people
And they
in a
had
mile
bust
radius.
up into the
basically.
ceiling, which was like, or the fourth floor, which was just supposed to be attic and storage space. And then they started housing orderlies up there, and they were like, we don't have room. We have to put people up there.
So something I'm trying to think about is how crowded it really was, right? So if 2,000 people in a mile, like I can't really picture like the population for
So
space.
they did, I think I said this last time too, but like they hotbedded patients. So there'd be a cot in the hallway, and you would share that cot with 3 other people, and you would sleep in 8-hour shifts.
Oh yeah.
Wait, hold on. Pause. Keith, can you do me a favor? Maybe I can hear you breathing the whole, yeah, like in a weird amount. Just for when you need to talk, maybe bring it closer. I don't want to change the way you breathe because I
That's
want
so
you to be
nice of you.
alive. Yeah, but I just feel like the whole,
I can't help it. I have asthma.
I know I love you and I have no problem with that. It's just
No,
feel
I
like-
got you. I got you.
Yeah. Sorry.
But
No,
you,
you're good.
but like you explaining this, so like I'm pretty sure you've seen The House on Haunted Hill, right?
Probably.
It's an old movie from like the early 2000s.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. It just gives me that vibe, and that movie scares the shit out of me.
So the building was shuttered in 94. It lay vacant for like 10 years, and then it was purchased by a private family for like just under $2 million, and they've been restoring it. And when it first started, when it first closed, people would sneak in and they reported like crazy ghost amount of things. And then when they turned it over to be a museum, a lot of paranormal shows came in, and they were recording readings like every night. Like everything was so crazy. It was so big. There were so many things happening. And as it got more and more popular as a museum, a lot of that paranormal stuff has like dropped off. And the, assumed logic of the time for right now of like what paranormal people think is going on is the reason it was so intense is these people had been ignored for so long that the like psychic energy or whatever wanted attention, and they now get attention by people asking about their lives and like interacting on a more day-to-day basis. And so there is less ghost things that happen than like 20 years ago.
And I'm sorry. So you said in '94 is when this family bought it. Is that what you
No,
said?
94 is when the building closed, and then
10 years
06 is when
Okay. Gotcha.
it
But
was
the building closed, but it was actively still a lunatic asylum until then, until '94.
yeah, up until 94.
It's the year I was born.
Same.
Yeah. Twins.
Oh, that's fucking crazy. So that's probably why they were like, because there's so many people there. That's why the doctor didn't give a fuck who he killed.
Yeah.
Like that's so sad. That's so fucking sad.
It's really and you could get dropped out for anything. You have epilepsy, you have a clotting disorder, you're just poor and your neighbor didn't like you.
So I'm imagining. Actually, this isn't even a joke. What if you were like gay?
That's a disease, a mental defect at the time.
Right. At the time. They were
Disclaimer.
wrong.
They were wrong. All of these people deserved care and treatment, and
Except for the gay
kindness.
people. They didn't need care or treatment.
Yeah, but also if
They just
you
needed a sick club scene.
if you got very sad one day, you didn't deserve to get your brain scrambled.
Right.
Yeah, or just
But still, I'm just mean if you have like a mental health issue, like a real, if you're like schizophrenic, you need care. If you were gay, you didn't need care. You just got
You
care.
needed compassion. You needed someone to lean over and be like, "You're fine."
Yeah, you're okay. Maybe
Or a
keep this
fucking hug.
to yourself for the next 80 years. But
But if you were considered a low threat, you actually were allowed to like work in town.
right, okay, and then you just go stay back in the barracks, basically.
Yeah, it was very easy to escape.
Which I imagine were very nice and roomy.
They were, when designed, you got your own room.
Right.
Like you had, like a regular sized amount of room for you, but over time, not so much.
Can you imagine? You just like when you first get there, you're like, man, this ain't that bad. I got my own shit. I was poor, but like now I got my own room. They feed me every day. And then 2 years later, they're like, yo, where the fuck all these people coming from?
I do wonder, like in the 1800s, though, like how much worse was it than just regular survival anywhere else? I'm sure it wasn't. I mean, the lack of freedom in certain cases would be horrible. But
So I didn't get into this, but they, for a long time, were growing their own food. They ran a farm. It was in a lot of ways like a prison where you like worked and didn't get paid.
Right.
And you couldn't leave. It was easy to run away, but it was very hard to get anywhere because like you're in the middle of rural
Yeah.
West Virginia.
Yeah.
Like you're just in a valley in between all these mountains. So you would make it to someone's house and then someone would just call the asylum and they'd come and pick you up.
Right.
Like, no, I'm trying to tell you, I don't have my own bed anymore.
I have 6 roommates.
I have 7 roommates. Please, just let me
7
sleep on your
roommates
head.
One of
with
them's
one bed.
gay.
I'm so tired.
So tired.
Okay. Okay, I feel like. Well, real quick, I guess because we have a couple minutes before we have to go to commercial break. I feel like this family, this rich family.
Yeah.
What else? What other industries are they in? Because they have to have money.
Great question. I don't know,
Okay.
but I assume because of West Virginia,
Farming, probably.
coal.
Yeah. Okay.
Ah.
I know all about West Virginia and their coal
West Virginia
industry.
is mostly coal.
Yeah.
Okay. So they.
Like any other like rural port state, there are incredible pockets of wealth.
Right. So they buy this house they buy this building in 1994.
No, they buy the building in 2007. The building gets shut down because it is so decrepit and horrible the state cannot justify trying to make repairs to it.
Got it. So 2000. Here we are. 2006.
I
Just
said
5
7,
years.
but I'm letting it
You
go.
said 7.
She said 7.
2007. Just 6 years after 9/11. Okay. Some of you were born probably around this time, which is just awful. And
I think it's okay.
like, I mean, we're talking. Britney Spears is at the top of the charts still. We're talking.
The housing market has crashed.
Yeah. I mean, it's a once again kind of a tough time, but not as tough as it was in the 1800s when Lincoln was still, you know what I mean? So now that I've set the tone, sorry, I think it was a slavery joke, I guess.
Yeah, but you did not nail the landing.
No, not at all. And that's okay. You know, this is my house. Get out. No. Okay. Do you feel like we have a nice base for people to understand what's going on?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. All right.
I don't know.
So
you
let's
let us
get
know.
in. Let's get into the nitty gritty. So, Caitlin,
Yes, Jack. Keith.
Yes.
you got the crazy idea. I mean, just the gumption. Is that the right use of the word gumption?
I mean, it's not a wrong use, but I wouldn't say it required a lot of gumption. It required a lot of planning.
Okay. And you decide, you know what? I'm going to pay how much money to go in this place?
$100.
That's actually not that bad.
Price
I
per
don't think
hour
it's
is very reasonable.
And you decide you're going to
It
go
was 8 hours.
spend the night with your slutty ghost friend. She's not a ghost who's a slut. She's a slut for ghosts. She's a human woman.
She be letting them ghosts hit. That's what she mean. Them ghosts
You know
be
what
like,
I'm
yo,
talking
that's the one right there.
I don't.
Let her haunt this
Yes.
pussy.
That's the one right
That's
there.
the vibe. Yeah.
Okay. And yeah, she walks in. It's just like a thick
I called
white
her ahead
woman
of time
walking
and I was
into
like, I'm gonna throw you
hookah
under the
bar.
bus. So
Okay,
there's
so
no other way to describe what I witnessed.
what did she wear? Did she wear something kind of sexy?
So she like twisted her hair up into a claw clip, and then every time we interacted with a ghost, she would take it out and like shake it out Baywatch style.
Are you serious?
I'm not kidding. To try and like, and then she would say out loud to the alleged ghost, like, "You can play with my hair." And there's no other way to interpret that.
That's so funny.
That ghost was like, oh, nah, she wanted, dog.
And then a couple of times, like, allegedly her hair like got pulled or whatever by the ghost, and then she would scream, and you're like, Mary.
She go, ah!
She would scream like, harder, daddy.
No, like a scared scream.
No.
Oh, got it. But well, I don't want to jump ahead.
Deeper.
That's a crazy teaser.
Deeper, daddy.
And I know she loves getting teased by ghosts.
Deeper, daddy.
Possibly.
All right.
Is that all you got? I'm dead.
And
That's basically- that was just that for 8
by
hours.
Keith Corey.
No, that's actually pretty cool though. It's scary as fuck.
I'm gonna write her-
It
I
was
have a
the
screenplay
wrong
and I'm gonna write her
energy
into it.
for someone standing next to me, because then I barely believing that ghosts are real, very quietly just saying, "And you may not touch me or my hair."
You do not have a consent.
I'm not with
I don't
her.
know if this is a consent thing. I don't know if this is a vampire situation where
with
you have
her,
to someone has to say it verbally, but it's a hard pass for me.
Okay, so you decide you're gonna spend the night in this freaking lunatic asylum.
Yeah.
Because you're a freaking lunatic.
We
Let's
do a
be
ghouls
honest.
trip because she moved away, and we like to hang out.
Ghouls trip.
And then we spent the rest of the weekend just wearing like matching floor length nightgowns. And
haunting places.
no, you crank the. You know when you stay at a hotel and you crank up the AC
Yeah.
too cold, but you're like it's free.
Yeah, I guess I don't really do that on purpose. I feel like usually when you go in, it's already like everything's a little damp because it's so cold in there.
No, it could always be colder because it's free AC. It's July.
So you were like seeing your breath, and you're like, oh my god, girl.
No, we just like read each other's tarot cards and played Mad Libs, and
That's so.
That sounds kinda fun.
it's a ghouls trip.
It's not. It's
Tarot
We
cards
do
aren't
one
haunted,
spooky
though.
thing, and then we just hang out for the rest of
Yeah.
the time and like eat a lot of Dairy Queen.
I do wish we had a Ouija board for this episode. That would have been fun.
so random.
I have tarot, but you only asked me to bring a book, so
Tarot cards aren't really the same to me.
that's fair. It's a full moon today.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Wasn't it a full moon like 2 or 3 weeks ago?
Probably a month ago.
Yeah.
If
There
I
might
had
be
to
2
guess.
full moons this month. I don't know.
Okay, so continue.
Okay, so it's 8 hours. It's 4 floors. It's 2 hours per floor. You get grouped up with a couple of people, and then you have a guide. And our guide, for legal reasons, I will be calling Justin because he admitted at one point that he was illegally breeding wolf dogs. So I don't want to say his real name.
Well, you didn't have to mention he was illegally breeding wolf dogs, but I'm glad you did for the record. That's crazy.
I just wanted you to know the kind of person who's giving tours at a place like this.
I'm sorry. That's
You're doing the
funny as
most
shit.
with that mic over there.
No, because it's like I wasn't
Slapping
expecting
it
that.
like you're Tony Woods.
I wasn't expecting
And
it.
I want to be very clear, he and my friend flirting hard with each other, but only by talking about ghosts.
Oh my
And
god,
it
I bet
was-
you she gets off on a guy like
it was
that.
it was so exhausting because he now obsessed with us. So he does a little like tour, and then you get 2 hours to explore, and you don't have to hang out as a big group. But Justin is like, obviously I'm going to be pairing off with you two, and I was like, I mean, I
You don't have to
didn't really
do-
factor that in. It's a ghouls trip, you know. Like,
Can I
it's
guess
not-
his real name? And if I'm right, will you tell me?
Yeah.
Kyle.
Yes.
I don't believe you. It could have been Kyle.
I don't know.
Kyle seems like a guy who breeds wolf dogs. What's a wolf dog? Like one of those big Russian motherfuckers?
Yeah, dog. Them
It's
shits
a
is-
wolf and
yeah.
a dog.
But
Like,
it might
it's-
as well just be a bit fucking wolf because it's bigger than a dog.
Right, it's got that coyote looking fur.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or wolf fur, I suppose.
That's so fucking random.
Like
Is that
if a dog's hair stands up when it's nervous, that's so sketchy.
You shouldn't own a wild animal.
Correct.
We have domesticated dogs over hundreds of thousands of years.
Thank you. So what the fuck? Just get a wolf dog. Stop being a pussy.
Just get a husky. You're fine.
Get a full
Get
wolf.
a wolf dog.
No,
you did
don't,
get a wolf dog.
don't get a wolf. Just get a dog.
Just get a wolf.
Get a dog.
Get a wolf, Kyle.
Anyway,
Okay, so how big was your specific group?
so there were like 7 of us as a big group, but we kept breaking off as like us 3 and then them 4.
Because of course Justin was kind of leaning a little toward.
he was
your
trying
friend.
And then
Wait,
Mary's
what's your friend's
like-
name? Mary.
Mary.
Okay.
And then Mary's like, yeah, like one time I saw a ghost and blah, 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 and they're just like,
He's like, oh my god. He's like, my apartment's actually haunted.
that was 100%. He was like, at the end of this, gave us his number to be like, let me know when you guys like want to like.
Mary kind of sounds like she might also be a regular slut.
She had a long slutty phase, but she didn't do anything.
Is
with
she gonna
this.
listen to this episode?
Yeah, for sure.
Hey Mary, sorry for calling you a slut.
She knows what she is.
Man, let her
She
live
has a
her
great-
life.
She's
dog.
No,
a
I
great
respect-
boyfriend
I
right now, and
respect
she's
sluts.
she doesn't
Shit.
step out, but like she went through a phase, as we all should in our 20s.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Okay, so you guys are in your little threesome.
So we leave everyone on the east wing, and we go over to the west wing, and when we step, like,
Wait, what time do you arrive there?
we get checked in at 9 p.m.
Okay. Whoa, all right. Night.
You can leave whenever you want, but when you leave, you can't come back in.
Can you imagine
Which
if you
makes
couldn't
sense
leave?
because you don't want to scare
It's
the fuck
lock-in
out of
rules.
people.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And we started on the second floor, and then we went up to the third, and then the fourth, and then we ended on the first floor.
Is the first floor like the biggest?
No, first floor is actually the smallest because half of the building is just on the first floor. It's just a museum.
Ah, so that makes sense. Like you're at like any museum where you end at the gift shop kind of thing.
Yeah, but
Right.
there are 4 other groups there at the same time as us, and they start on a different floor, and then we rotate.
Oh wow. Okay. All right.
Okay, so
So there's probably like 50 people there total for the evening.
Okay.
Oh, I thought it was only 7.
On our
Oh, they getting y'all money, bro. That's like
Maybe only, like,
$5,000 a night.
maybe only like 40 people. I don't know. There were like 7 of us in our group.
Yeah. But
So
still
we
though.
just the 3 of us cross over. It's hot. This is July. It's like 85, 90 degrees outside. It's very warm. The building is poorly insulated.
And you said it was raining too, so it was
It
probably
hadn't
like,
started raining yet, but it was like thick humidity. We step over like the shoulder into like the top of the ward, Ward A, and it's suddenly cold. Like I notice it's cold. It feels cold. I like feel it crawl up my back, and I have a moment where I'm like, I should leave. We should leave. This is dumb. You know, let's just eat the money. I don't think we should be here anymore. Like,
Sincerely,
we should go.
you like mean that?
Yeah.
Because you get a weird feeling if as soon as you
And then we stepped over the elbow onto the Ward B. Hot again. I no longer feel like we should leave.
Now, honestly, so I'm gonna be a little practical here. So
Yeah.
you feel that chill? Did you look around for some vents?
Yeah, 100%. I was like, there's gotta be an open window. How could the open window be cold? You know,
Well, a
seems
vent.
weird.
I mean, I assume
There's no AC in the building.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
they're not
'Cause
going to
I've been
throw
there-
an AC in.
Here's the thing. I've been there during the day in the middle of summer. If they had AC, they would be blasting in the summer.
Did you ever return to that exact spot?
Yes, we would cross back over, and it was no longer cold.
I was kind of hoping it would be.
Me too, but here's the most upsetting thing. So we get to the other side. I no longer feel like we should leave, and I was like, that was a weird moment. I think I'm gonna shelve it and not talk about it. Justin turns to us and he's like, I've been here 500 times, and that's never happened to me before.
Yeah, but he says that every time.
And I was like,
No.
what happened? And he's like, it got really cold, didn't it? And now Mary's like super excited, and I wanted to grab Justin's shirt and be like, you shut up.
Yeah.
You shut your wet mouth. What do you mean this has never happened to you before? I need you to tell me this happens every time you walk in this hallway.
And well, that's the thing is that you
'Cause
know
you're scared
Justin's
of his-
an honest guy because
Yeah.
he's raising
Yeah. Also
wolf
because
dogs.
he's so excited to show us every little thing. He's convinced that because Mary saw a ghost as a teenager, the ghosts are going to love her. He's
She's like touched.
yeah, he's like,
Yeah.
she's ghost touched. This is totally going to be like a really crazy night
She's
for
like a
us.
schmedium.
Yeah, and that's why this is why he's obsessed with hanging out with us.
Okay.
I think we all know
He's just
why.
sending it off in the
Is
rooms.
can I say something? Is Mary hot?
That's a question that I don't think I could answer.
Yeah,
for
that
you.
actually seems pretty inappropriate for me to ask because
It
especially.
does.
Hey, Mary, I'm really sorry. I'm not trying to objectify you by any means. I'm just trying to get a sense of how full of shit Justin was. And the hotter you are, Mary, the more full of shit he is, and that's just a fact. Sounds like she's doing all right because he sounds full of shit. Sorry, I'm not trying to be a hater. Okay.
No, it's fine.
Justin's
You
a
can
great
be a
guy,
hater,
I'm
but like I
sure.
feel like you could hate on my friend a little.
Did Justin have any face tattoos?
No.
Can you describe what he looked
Definitely
like
had no
real
fucking
quick? I want to
face
picture
tattoos.
this guy.
He was like a broad-shouldered man.
Okay. What age?
Like mid-30s.
Okay.
Like thick.
We're a bit robust.
Yeah.
He looked like somebody that you would trust if some shit would go down.
He's the kind of man that could, like, if you were rafting, he could pick you up and put you in the boat.
Yeah.
But
Okay, Zaddy.
not hot.
No, I'm fucking with you.
Just
Not right. Well, yeah, I didn't really foresee him being like hot. That'd be crazy.
I would have listed that earlier
right.
in the
You'd have been
description.
like
Yes.
hot Justin.
Hulking. You know, like
Okay. Yeah. Beard.
his size will come up later. I think so. I don't remember. It was very dark. Here's what they don't tell you about ghost hunting. As a person with glasses, you're at a disadvantage to everyone else.
Damn.
Because your eyes are tired all the time because you're straining them. You're trying to see things.
Yeah, I know the
Yeah.
feeling. Yeah.
And then you're now in a dark building, staring into a dark room with no lights, trying to see a shadow move at night.
Right. That sounds tough. I can see better at night because I have very beautiful blue eyes.
I had a lot of carrots. I feel like I can see fine at night.
Yeah, probably.
But
I'm
for
sure.
8 hours,
Right.
it's very hard.
Okay, so there you guys are. She's sucking Justin's little ghost cock.
They both think that they see a ghost on this floor. I didn't, so I can't really speak to that.
Okay, tell the story. What happened?
They're convinced that something's like sort of like sneaking in and out of a doorway. I don't really notice it. I don't really know what to tell you. That's the second floor.
Did they see something? Like, did they keep like, oh my god, I saw something sneak in and out of a doorway for some
Yeah,
reason.
there was like a shadow that was acting bizarrely. Is the easiest way I know how to explain it.
First of all, a shadow acting. Just that there's those two words alone.
Honestly, I was still stressed from the overwhelming desire to leave that evaporated when I crossed through a doorway.
Yeah, because you had it's what they call in the paranormal shows like the sense of dread.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But why does
And
why
that
would a
hadn't
ghost have
happened
a
to me before.
shadow?
I had been there at night before, and I had never had that happen.
Shadows are caused by the absence of light.
So shadow, there were a lot of shadowy things, but I couldn't speak on the second floor. I didn't really notice it.
Okay.
Then we move up after our 2 hours. We move up to the third floor. There's like a room with bars on the windows.
Just fuck all that, dog.
Oh, the other thing about the second floor, sorry, was there's a children's ward and the teen ward, and allegedly there's a ghost named Emily who's on the second floor, but we didn't really talk to her. So.
Shout out Emily.
And then in the teen ward, there are two boys named Charlie and James, and they got into a knife fight in the bathroom because maybe Charlie was trying to
Rape him? Chuck and Jimmy, man.
Get the fuck out of here! No, that couldn't have. Are you dead ass? Children, teens, but still though. Damn, that's
Come on, Keith. You don't remember being a teenager? You know what
I
I'm
never
saying?
think about that. Oh my god.
They're both teens. That doesn't make it better or worse. I'm just clarifying.
Right.
So do you guys know what dowsing rods are, like divining rods?
And what
I'm talking
context?
about the rods.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's basically like an L-shaped piece of metal that's like in a pipe that you hold, and you like hold. So it's the L shape is freestanding, so it can
so it
spin
can
at
move.
100 and
Oh, I see what you're saying.
308,
Okay, yeah.
360 degrees. So you hold two of them, and if they cross,
Oh,
that's
yeah,
a
they
yes,
the things that like balance.
and then they oppose, they're a no.
Right. Yeah, which is just makes about as much sense as a Ouija board, kind
Yeah.
of, where it's like.
They're not hard to manipulate, but in order to manipulate them, it's kind of obvious that you're manipulating them.
Fair.
So you have to either touch on the bottom or below, because like if you're just holding the sides, it's freestanding, so it'll just spin endlessly.
Right. Okay.
So we asked like yes or no questions of the two teenagers, and Mary attempted to get them to play with her hair, but for shocking reasons, they didn't seem that interested in her.
Because they was interested. One was interested in another one.
Ooh, you think because they were gay?
Well,
No,
one of them was.
One of them
The other one
was.
could have
Also-
also been gay, I guess.
Also,
No.
Charlie,
just didn't wanna
maybe
be
he wasn't
raped.
gay. Maybe he was just, the worst person.
Yeah. I mean, he doesn't sound like a great guy.
Sorry.
We all have our demons, but Charlie was one.
I mean, he was
Thunder.
a kid
Sorry. Go on.
who, lived a hard life. I don't know.
Yeah. Fair enough.
The weird thing about asking yes or no questions is that you realize very quickly that all the questions you've ever had for a ghost are not yes or no questions.
What are some of the questions that were being asked?
It was like, like, are you mad at each other? Like, is there anything, like someone asked like, what kind of sports they liked, and very basic questions.
It's not yes or no either.
Do you like sports? Yes or no. Do you like football? Soccer? Baseball?
I couldn't imagine giving a fuck about that.
Oh, they actually had a baseball team at the asylum.
Okay. She
What
could be
the
like, were you
fuck?
on the baseball team?
And the
Were you a
local kids
shortstop?
also, there wasn't room at the high school, so they played all of their games on the lawn.
Okay.
And the inmates would come. It was actually very intimidating to play the Weston High baseball team.
I can
I
imagine.
imagine, yeah. Fucking A. They're like, that one's foaming out of the mouth on first base.
Come here, motherfucker. Let me rape you. You like, oh,
Oh, Jesus. Just hit the ball, Chuck.
I feel like all of my questions for ghosts are like, why are you here? Like, what's on the other side? Or
Right. Too complicated
do
for
you
a
have
yes or no.
a message? Like, why are you not at peace?
I'm about to say I wouldn't ask what's on the other side if you're here. You know what I mean? If you're asking a ghost that, he's just like, I'm talking to you in here.
I don't
Right, but,
know.
Is everything rich and full? Are you alone? Is it just an endless void of cold? Like, are you?
Okay, I see what you mean.
You know, like what are you interacting with? Yeah. Like, is there a bright light you're not walking into, or like, you know, like, are you stuck here? Like,
that's kind of crazy. Cause like, what you asked me that question, I'm like, hey, yo, bring me Wawa, and like you heard that on like a.
It's like, how does he know what
we have little
is?
radios that you can like the allegedly ghosts can like manipulate the frequency.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're doing the little.
I
rod
hated
thing.
the radio because I can't handle that amount of. You let it play on static.
Nah, fuck that. Because I don't want to hear some shit. If I hear some shit, I'm out.
I can't handle.
Well, static is famously.
I can't handle 5 minutes of static. That's excruciating to me.
But that's the thing about a lot of these tools, right? Static is inherently creepy. So it's kind of like shadows. It's kind of like being in a dark room where you start seeing stuff that isn't necessarily there because you're like, you know.
The other tool that I think is the easiest for me, a skeptic, to interact with is the like EMF reader.
Right.
That lights up from green to red, based on electrical signals in the walls.
Now, so it's dark in here. Does that mean they lack power?
The building has power.
Right.
They've turned off none of the light switches are on. Mm-hmm. I think that not every floor is wired for power because like it's an old building. They've not restored everything, but like.
Right.
The building has power. There is power in the building, but they don't typically turn on lights from
they probably
most
have
of
generators.
The floors.
Yeah, I mean they definitely have at least water.
Yeah, they probably have generators.
But like only the first floor has lights that are on. Like if you come during the day, they're just gonna let you look through the windows or like bring flashlights. But there are light fixtures. Like there's hot electricity in the walls. Like if I brought an EMF reader to the wall, it would pick up lights.
Right.
It would light up based on certain patterns. But you could stand in the middle of a room and set it down, and it would be green, no EMF. There's no electrics in this room. And then, he'd bring out the like dowsing rods to talk to the ghosts or whatever, and it would start lighting up red.
Okay, and that was happening.
Yeah.
Were you sensing anything when these things would occur, or maybe even before they would occur, right before?
No, I'm solid earth. I am. Human to the core.
Yeah.
So that was second floor. Third floor. There was a very famous kid who died on the third floor in the men's criminal ward. His name is Dean.
Dino.
Who killed him? Jim. Big Jim.
Not the same Jimmy who was raped by Chuck.
No, that's James.
Okay.
We did talk to Big Jim.
Okay.
Allegedly.
Fuck all that, dog.
Was Big Jim, he worked there?
No.
He was just a
guy. They're not going to name a dude that worked at Big Jim. He got that name for a reason, fam.
Big Jim, to me, sounds like he's like the guy who's like, oh, Big Jim, we need you to go handle Dominic and Rachel. They're fucking...
I see what you mean.
You know what I mean?
So, Dean... nowadays probably would have been diagnosed with autism, like nonverbal autism.
Okay.
He stole something from like a grocery store or something, whatever. He was deemed like he wasn't fit to stand trial. So he got put in here in the criminal ward. And he, for some reason, bothered Big Jim, and Big Jim, trigger warning, took one of their bunk beds and pinned Dean underneath him and then smashed the
corner.
The bunk bed leg into Dean's head.
Okay.
And then killed him, obviously. And then they
gave him a bottom bunk.
Yep.
Shut the fuck up. I'm sorry. That's it's funny, but it's not funny at the moment.
I think it's pretty good.
He hid Dean in, there was like a closet in this room, and like said ghosts did it.
Right. Classic
move.
Classic Dean.
So a lot of people hang out in
Jim.
the room where Dean died to try and get a reading, but Jim hangs out in the other part of the building.
Okay.
And so like we went to the other part of the building to like
Jim's like, I've never even been over there.
I don't even know what you're talking about. It was crazy.
Who? Where?
So most people use the divining rods, they just spin like parallel with the ground. Mm-hmm. But apparently, allegedly, Jim, very powerful. So Justin pointed the rods at the ground and asked Jim questions, and Jim could like lift the rods pointing up.
Was Justin manning the rods at all times?
Yeah, but we would turn on a flashlight. I paid attention to nothing but what this man's hand
Like,
was
are you
doing.
looking at like forearm muscles and stuff? You know what I mean?
Totally lax. Because
Okay.
like in order to
That would
manipulate, you have to
scare
touch
the
the
shit
bottom or
out
the
of
top,
me.
right? To like move it.
So I'm going to be skeptical for just a moment.
No, please.
So no one's allowed to touch Justin's rod unless, of course, Mary asks nice.
If anyone asked nicely, I think he would be 100% on board.
But you didn't test that theory.
No.
So here's the thing.
You
Okay.
have to understand, Mary is claw clipping, Baywatch style. And I was like,
Right,
if
she's
ghosts are
completely
real, I need
swept
to
off
be
her feet.
totally covering
Yeah.
my own.
But here's
sense
a
of self.
theory, okay?
Yeah,
If the rods, let's say the rods are bullshit,
sure.
okay? Let's say they're not just basic fucking rods. Let's say they're mechanical in some way. Let's say they can...
They're not mechanical because he did pass them around for us.
And you were like,
Yeah. We had our own rods.
you did. Did your rods do anything?
Mary messed
That's what I
around
was
with
about to
them,
ask.
but we didn't practice the like.
Mary kind of seems like the type of person to move the Ouija board, though.
Nah, man, she's waiting for the.
No, Mary is a believer.
Yeah, and she's waiting for like she wants shit to happen, so she's not going to like fuck it up to
Yeah, but
Mary
priests
does
are
like
believers
kitchen
and they're
witch
fucking...
spells, you know.
Yeah, okay.
Like if she wanted to meet a man, she'd write something in a jam jar and cover it in honey and ginger, you know.
put a
Jesus
strand of his
Christ,
hair in
your
there and
poor
just like,
boyfriend.
yep.
Yeah.
I'm
So
gonna have him answer me at the end of the day.
But the reason I suggest that theory, though, is because, okay, so there's some sort of connection between the EMF reader and the rods.
Yeah.
And it just makes me wonder.
Sometimes the rods don't get brought out. So like we did readings without the rods. We did readings with rods. We did readings just with the EMF readers. We did a couple without Justin. Like we got rid of him. It went better without Justin being there.
Where did Justin go?
To like check on the other group or like
Right.
he acknowledged what's annoying about doing these trips is they acknowledge that
Did you hear that? A creaky door.
ghosts get bored of talking to the same people all the time, and so
Oh,
the more
so
established you
relatable.
are as a like ghost hunter tour guide, the less likelihood the ghosts are going to talk to you.
Right, like Justin comes in there like, fucking
They're like,
Justin.
this fucking we talked to him 100 times. Like, get him out of here.
Don't you have wolves to raise?
Don't you have a life to get back to? Get out of
But
here.
he's probably doing some shit like on his lunch breaks, like at doing a tour, eating a sandwich in the room where Jim killed somebody. Jim's just like, leave,
No.
man, boo.
Boo!
But for Jim, we talked about baseball. Like someone else asked him a bunch of like baseball related questions.
That's pretty cool. He likes baseball.
I mean, he killed a guy.
You can do two things.
You could do two things. I was not a big fan of Big Jim.
Yeah.
Of course. The fuck?
I think that was it for the third floor. Oh, there was like a room with bars over the windows that we couldn't figure out why. Like bars over the door, but we weren't in the criminal section.
Give me the light.
And we locked Mary in there, but then I can't speak to what happened in there.
She came.
She came. Yeah, but she came out. She's like, "Thanks, boys."
I didn't
She's
like
came
it
out
because it was
sweaty.
just Justin and I outside, and Justin's like giving her stage directions, and I was like, this is getting kind of inappropriate.
That's super weird. All right, so what floor are we about to move to?
The fourth floor, the scariest floor.
All right.
Are you in the zone now?
Now I'm in the zone.
I'm good, baby.
I got an iced coffee. How spooky of me.
I think that's the wrong call. So we're on the fourth floor. Fourth floor, originally just storage. It's the hottest, grossest part of the building. It was also where they stuck like alcoholics, people going through detox.
This is 4 out of 4 minus the attic space, right?
No, this is including. We're now in the attic.
Oh my god.
It's the most haunted.
Keith, are you okay?
I'll be fine. I'm thinking about some other shit. Not like thinking of that. I'm just thinking about a bunch of alcoholics just like, hey,
Yeah, I want
that's
you to
what they do.
imagine the hottest room of any house and then just sticking a bunch of like alcoholics actively going through detox in the
Yeah, that shit don't
They're
sound
like, I'm
cool.
sweating so much. And they're like, oh, that's the alcohol.
Totally normal.
Yeah, you're having
Totally
DTs.
normal.
It's not because it's so hot in here.
There are two guys, I think they're like Frank and Larry. Ghosts.
Not a very spooky name. Frank or
Sometimes
Larry.
they're not spooky named.
Frankie!
Oh, there was like a woman on the third floor. Her name is Ruth, and she killed like a nurse or something. She lives on the third floor.
But she was chill.
We didn't talk to her, so
Okay.
not chill. She killed someone like while there.
But as a ghost, famously chill.
Famously unchill, like scratches people allegedly.
Really? But
Yeah.
didn't scratch Mary even.
No, I think Mary somehow managed
Mary was
to
like,
Mary,
fucking
like, just
scratch
like, oh,
me,
like, play with my
spit on
hair.
me.
Spit in my mouth.
Sidetracking. Keep going.
She's a great character. Mary, we love you. This is fantastic. Thank
Mary,
you
do
for
remember
being
that movie
such a
we
character.
saw where they spat in each other's mouths and we hated it?
You saw that?
Yeah.
Wow, I
with the
didn't know. I didn't know
Rachels.
people were following me.
What?
Wait, with what? What are you were talking
the
about?
movie. What are you talking
Sorry,
about?
I was. So you're on the fourth floor. There you are.
So we're on the
It's
fourth
episode
floor.
2. You don't remember episode 2? When we spit each other's mouths? Sorry, go on. It's a comedy podcast. I'm doing my best.
Let her tell the story,
Can you just
man.
let us have
My
a scary
suspense is
podcast?
like,
yeah. Go ahead. I won't make any more jokes.
So there's Larry and Frank, and they like cursing, and they like when you tell like dirty jokes, and they'll sometimes like come out and perform if you like give them cigarettes and
Perform what? Like a tight 5?
stuff. I don't know, like play with your hair or whatever.
Okay. It seems
hold
like
on. You talking
all
about
they do.
you talking about back in the day, them or
No,
like
no,
now?
like current day allegedly.
If you give them a
Larry-
cigarette, if you give
like
a ghost
pull
a
out
cigarette,
cigarettes and chocolates and things, they'll move things around. So you could like set up flashlights to like turn it on and off.
What's funny is I'll also perform for cigarettes and chocolate.
I know. I
Keep that in
feel
mind,
like
bookers.
If there was a room that you would live in here, it would be the alcoholics ward, where they love dirty jokes, cigarettes, and chocolate.
Hell yeah.
Although, fun fact, they did have nicotine therapy in the like 70s, where they would just put people in a room and give them a bunch of cigarettes, and then you had nicotine therapy, where you just smoked inside. as a
Sounds like
doctor's
they were like, no
prescription.
smoking in the building, and some doctor was like,
No, you can smoke a lot.
yeah.
I'm
No,
about to say,
actually,
it's
it's a therapy.
it's
So
the 50s, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
1850.
No.
No, I'm saying like back in the
1950s.
day.
Yeah. There's also a thing that some people don't think is a ghost that lives at the asylum. It's called the creeper, and it moves in a particularly inhuman way. And it's found all over the building, but most commonly in the fourth floor. And this is what Mary really wanted to see, and this is what Justin was hoping that Mary's ghost-touched abilities would get us closer to see. So we set up in like a long hallway. There's a guy at the end of there's a ghost at the end of the hallway, allegedly like named Daniel or something, and he is very particular about people coming in and out of his room. And we're on the other end of the hallway. It's now 1 a.m. I'm very tired. My eyes hurt.
Yeah, you're like a 9:30 asleep kind of gal.
I don't mind staying up late. I can hang. Like I do plenty of late night shows, but there's more zip-zopping in
Yeah.
comedy.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of just quiet stretches as you strain to
Yeah.
hear
Keith
whether or
would have been
not a
asleep
mouse
immediately.
immediately.
No,
I packed us a lot of snacks. I was like, we'll keep it like fun and light, and then we adjusted the whole time. And also, Mary was like, you have to be quiet to hear the ghosts.
was this motherfucker eating y'all snacks too?
No.
She's like, are there any spirits here? Caitlin's over there.
It was hard finding things that wouldn't melt, but were also not crunchy.
You got to go with Slim Jims.
Destroying
Yeah.
pretzels.
We had like seaweed strips and like jerky and Marcona
Ugh,
almonds and like
I'm
some-
feeling haunted by your palate. Sorry. Go on.
No, we ate good things the rest of the time. It's just, what are you gonna pack to bring in a 90-degree building all day?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're we're sitting on this side of like on the east wing, like just above the elbow, just before the trans over where the like stairs are. And Justin says something about like he'll come back, and I think he's walked down to the fingertips.
Okay.
Because I've closed my eyes for a brief repose. And then I open my eyes.
For what reason did you close your eyes?
I see this as an opportunity to close my eyes. My eyes hurt. You know when your eyes are dry?
Yeah, my eyes are literally killing me right now.
Yeah, like that. It's like, so my eyes are dry. It hurts. So I close my eyes. I'm like drinking my like lemon soda or whatever. And Mary and I are then sitting in like total silence. We're staring at the end of the hallway. I think waiting for Justin to walk back to us. In front of us is a room, and one of the shadows that should be coming from like a bookcase, it should be a straight line, is not a straight line. It's like more curvy than it should be, and it's like kind of moving in and out. And Mary and I have like just like gripped each other's hands. We were like, oh no, like this shadow isn't moving the way it's supposed to. And then a figure that looks just like Justin starts walking back towards us, and Mary is now like just like gripping my knee, right? She's like, oh my god, this is so scary. And I was like, I don't know why you're
Taking her
scared.
hair out of her ponytail.
No, she's legit scared. She's very scared. And I'm seeing Justin walk towards us. So like, I'm not stressed. And I was like, Mary, like he walked down there. He has to walk back our way. Like, I don't know why you're freaking out. And she's like, that's not true, Caitlin. He didn't walk to the end of the hallway. He walked back to the main building to check on the other people. And as she says this, that figure stops. And it doesn't come any closer, and that it isn't there anymore.
Just, oh man, I just shit all over myself. I'm so sorry, y'all.
That was the most. There were 2 instances on the 4th floor that I was like, oh, I'm scared.
Now let me ask you this: so is that the first time you've ever actually seen anything that you would consider haunted?
Yeah, there were only 2 things on this trip that I was like, because the rest of it's kind of like, science is hard to explain why the EMF reader lights up, but like, I don't know, people could be faking that.
Yeah.
Well, I think there's just things that set off EMF readers that people don't realize.
Like what if they're like magnets?
Talk to an
everywhere? Like,
electrician, yeah, and we'll see, yeah. But and this is in your whole life, right? You've never had a paranormal situation.
Oh, bro, that figure shit would have scared me. Cause she literally just said like she had to fix her vision, like cause her eyes were dry, and you didn't have your glasses on at this time, right?
I had my glasses on, but the glasses are doing nothing, right? It feels like I don't have glasses because it's nighttime. Everything's blurry, and we're staring down. We're at one end. We're staring down a hallway with no light at the end, right? So it's just into nothingness.
Is any part of you feel like it's a little too convenient that Justin walks away and then you start seeing a shadowy figure?
A little bit. Again, I assumed that was Justin. Mary was like, oh, there's a thing. And I was like, that's
right. Because it also looked like Justin, you said.
Yeah, because apparently Daniel and
it was like a robust, broad-shouldered
like
man.
But everything had a domino effect.
But there's no stairs at the other end of the hallway.
Yeah.
That you're aware of.
No, I've done this tour 4 times.
Oh, that's right.
I know this building well enough to know where all the stairs are. There is no stairwell in the back.
You've done the lock-in at night 4 times?
On the 4th floor, which is truly horrifying.
Oh my god, where did they poop?
I wouldn't want to use a bathroom up there anyway.
Yeah, keep your shit as pants in this.
I know.
Hey, they would have had a bathroom up there that night.
Mm-hmm. I know that's right.
Shit, boy.
What was your question? Sorry.
It's just like, you know. So normally on a ghost tour, they rig it.
I think
in most cases.
I've been on 2 other ghost tours.
Mm-hmm.
One was during the day, one was at night. On the night one, I couldn't see things. The tour guide was moving very quickly because you're doing what we did in 8 hours in 2 hours.
Okay.
So there's very little time to do anything. You're moving at a breakneck speed. And I didn't know what to keep an eye out for, and so she during that tour she set up a flashlight in a corner, and then she asked questions, and the light would turn on and off.
I remember that from the first episode.
And it was kind of like, well, maybe it's a remote controlled light, I don't know this woman, I don't trust her. Not that I trusted Justin, but
all you know about that woman is that you paid her money to walk around this place and show you that it was haunted.
Yeah.
I wish I knew Justin's hourly rate.
He comes in only for this. So like he has a day job.
I bet he
In a
does.
whole other
That
state.
creepy motherfucker.
Yeah, I bet.
He
I'm sure
chose
he
that.
works at
he
a
like
fucking
runs a like phone
Arby's.
store or something.
He runs a phone store.
Yeah.
This is the slimiest motherfucker. He runs a phone store. He raises wolf dogs.
But he has to have a job, so I get it. Because where else was he going to work? It's
yeah,
West
there's
Virginia.
probably not a lot of
Mary
money
also
in
looked
wolf
a lot
dogs.
like his ex-wife. I know that we didn't need that detail, but I think it was
that's
pretty clear.
pertinent. Okay, so you see this figure, then it vanishes.
Yeah, and now I'm freaked.
Yeah.
Timeline wise, a thing had happened right before
Keith.
this.
I'm sorry, bro. Because I'm
I don't
picturing
care how
all this
scared
shit.
you are. You're rubbing your nose on the pop filter. What are you doing?
Imagining this man.
I have to edit all this out. It's so annoying.
I'm here with. You want me to be here with Kate?
I know, I appreciate it.
I'm sorry.
It's not a good excuse. Also, shout out Ashley Mayo. You're wearing her brand. It's a cool brand.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Ashley Mayo has a
Shout
shirt
out to
brand.
Ashley.
Check it out.
What up, Ash?
Raw paper based stuff. Okay. Anyway, sorry. Go on.
I'm scared, fam. All right, go ahead.
So that was right before that. Justin had taken all of us to the other side of the building. The other side of the building has one window at the very end. It's a circular window. There are no trees on this side of the building. Because I know you're about to say this was a tree branch. And I want you to know, I also was really hoping it was a tree branch, but there's not any trees on the side of the building.
Okay.
We look down. He suggests like turning and looking out of the corner of our eye unless you're visually impaired, in which case you might want to just look on it head on. And as a visually impaired person, I had to look at it head on because I have nothing going on in the peripherals. It's my worst vision.
Right.
We're looking at this like round light. It's small, right? It's at the other end of the hall. And what is very clearly a rocking chair. Like a person in a rocking chair is rocking in and out of like the silhouette of the window. And we walked over there. And there's not a rocking chair. There's no chair. There's nothing.
Fuck that. I'm sorry, dog.
Now, the skeptic in me would say, it's weird that he only appeared when we're so far away.
And when you're not really looking at it.
And
Unless
when
you're
no one else
visually
is
impaired.
looking at it, unless you have bad eyesight, in which case you should look dead on. He said, so Justin was sort of like, you can get tunnel vision, which is why he didn't suggest watching straight on, because it's a round light at the end of the hall, and like you can sort of like feel like the, like tunnel, like I don't know, there's some sort of phenomenon of like looking through the end of a tunnel.
Wow, what a
and, like,
convenient phenomenon.
I know. But it was everything else had been sort of like, oh, did you see that up until this point? Like, did you hear that? And it's like, no, I didn't.
Yeah.
But on this floor, I was like, I did see that. I did see what everyone else was talking about. That I didn't love that.
So can you describe the feeling? Because this is like for the first couple times in this whole tour, out of all these tours you've been on, and you're basically your whole life you've been seeking paranormal experience and finding nothing.
I collect a lot of witchy people, and I like hanging out with them, and they like doing things like this.
Yeah, right. But so
I'm very okay living in a world without ghosts. I believe I live in that world, and I would like to continue living in that world. I have no interest in being haunted or meeting a ghost.
Okay. But you're just feeling like you got to get the fuck out of there.
No, it was just that first hallway. I felt like that. The rest of it was just like, I'm kind of tired. I could be done.
Okay.
But I didn't feel that dread except for that first hallway.
Yeah, that shit would fuck me up. Question. So did you take any of this home like the next morning? Like, did you take it home and think about it? Like, did it scare you more, or you just kind of left it all there?
I sort of left it all there. We did the fourth floor. We came down. We did the first floor. We, bought some things at the gift shop, packed up. We left a little early. There's a child on the first floor named Lily that some people think is not a little girl and is in fact like a adult man who just likes the attention. Ghost. And then we went back to the motel and Mary and I slept, and then we spent the next day like talking about it, and she obviously had more to discuss because she did more things and has more ghost affinity.
Yeah.
But the more I thought about it, the more uncomfortable I was getting about like the fourth floor stuff, because it
was
doesn't
something that you
square with
experienced.
logic.
Yeah, you can't explain
And
it.
I kept trying to come up with reasons for how Justin absolutely could have made it to the end of the hallway. I was like, Mary's wrong. Like, he walked back there. Like, there had to have been some other staircase that we just didn't know about, that they don't show us. But there's no room we're not allowed to go in on these tours. Like, we can go into any room. We
I
can
will say,
touch
though,
anything. Like,
a
there's
building
no
built
rules.
in 1850. From what I know, which is almost nothing, about old buildings, is that they often have ways to move about them that are hidden.
So you're thinking of, like, palaces.
I guess, but when you think about
So the
a
reason
need for
very
staff
old
to get
buildings
around,
had staff was because they didn't want to see their servants or staff
Right.
or slaves, because they didn't think they were real people, and so they didn't want them public. But in this building, who's moving around unseen? No one. Everyone should be seen. Or like nurses, and nurses as medical staff, you wouldn't want to hide them away. They would be walking up and down regular hallways. Like, the reason there wasn't stairs at every access point is because, like, this section of the building, like the forearm, is a different section of the building than the upper arm. Like, over here's teens and here's children. You don't want them interacting with each other. Like, there's a whole, like, the changeover is like a shorter hallway with stairs, but like with locked doors. Like, you'd have to go out, you know, like when you go to a dog park and there are like two gates. Like, you have to lock one door to open the next door.
right? Which, yeah, that's still that holds up for current hospitals too,
Yeah.
for mental hospitals. Okay. So after are you under the impression that the shadowy figure could have been the creeper?
No, I think, according to Mary, the shadowy figure was like Danny, the guy at the end, the like ghost at the end that people talk to regularly,
Okay.
because he was described as like that size and shape.
Did either of you try to engage with Danny?
She had tried to talk to him earlier, and by the time I had figured out that it wasn't in Justin, I was not interested in talking to this person at all. It had sort of felt like, ghost-wise, he had just crept up on us and then realized we were paying attention and then dissipated. And I was like, I don't know, that's not my vibe, you know?
Right. Yeah.
I'm glad that happened, because if it wasn't a Yaj, you kept thinking it was Justin, and he really crept up on you like
Like,
in
I'm
your
so
face.
glad Mary was there, because if Mary hadn't have been there to be like, no, that can't be Justin, I would have fully ignored this entity walking towards me,
And you would have been taken.
and I don't know what would have happened, because
We would have came after you.
I would have came for you.
thank you.
I would have. Yeah, we would have.
I mean, I
Liam
don't think
Neeson.
you guys really would have been a lot of help. It's like,
I have
kind
seen
of a
literally. I've seen every single episode of Supernatural more than 3 times. If you don't think that I'm completely prepared,
I had salt in the bag. Like, I had things.
did
Kurt,
you really
you
have
thought it was
rock salt
solid.
with you?
Yeah.
Yeah, stop.
And cigarettes and chocolate.
I would have been smoking cigarettes. I would have been like, "Sorry, Justin. I know it's probably not."
Oh, you're not allowed to smoke inside. There are like 3 rules.
Okay. I would have been like, "Oh my
No-
God, Justin! I think a
No
ghost is
candles,
smoking."
no cigarettes, no blood magic.
Yeah, all the stuff that like seance shit. That makes sense.
Yeah, and they don't do you can't bring in any Ouija boards. And I was like, I feel like you should have more rules. And they're like, these we feel very strongly about these.
Because they probably had a lot of experiences where people
What
brought
about
that up.
photography?
They do photography tours during the day, but you're allowed to at like certain times. They'll like set you up with like the best angles, but you can bring in all your own equipment.
Yeah.
On these like overnights, you can bring in like EMF readers, you can bring in cameras, you can bring in like
That's what they
all
want.
that stuff.
Because if you get scared and you leave all your shit in there, they gonna keep your stuff. I know what they doing.
Are there any big ghost hunting shows that you know of that have done this?
All the big ones have done this.
All the big ones. I wonder if those 2 YouTube guys have done it. I don't remember their
mean,
names.
I don't know
I want to
their
say
names.
Matt and Justin. or
Probably. I mean, like
something.
it was very popular, especially like in the early on. So this was a lot of ghost shows, like early shows.
Yeah.
we're here.
Like one of the most
Especially probably
popular.
early 2000s because it's
Someone
like fresh.
someone caught the creeper. I don't remember which ghost show it was. You can look that up later. But they like caught the creeper. Like that's where this. That's what made this thing famous.
Yeah.
They call video footage of them.
Yeah, I'm sure they did. I'm sure they caught the only video footage of a ghost that's ever existed that no one knows about.
I mean, it's like any of those ghost shows where like they're like, oh, you heard it. They said Annabelle, and you're like, I didn't, but okay.
It's literally like some sound that goes. And they're like, oh my god,
That's Annabelle.
that's clearly Annabelle.
So like I can't speak for all of that. There were plenty of things that happened that I think could be chalked up to just it's an old building. I didn't hear that like that. But yeah, I saw some stuff that didn't square with what makes sense.
Just sitting in Waffle House, just eating water. Like, yo, what the fuck? Yo. Oh.
I needed 2 days to really recover.
And that's the answer to my question. Like, how long did it take you to kind of like, all right, I think I'm normal now. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
so this was Saturday night. We spent all of Sunday just fully tucked into our own queen mattresses in the motel room, just, talking shit. And you guys aren't girls, so you don't get it, but like a girls trip is really like where you evaluate your entire life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, so you go home at what time? What time did you get back to the motel?
Probably 2 or 3 a.m.
Did you get any sleep that night?
How early? Maybe 5. I don't know. It was.
Sun
If it's
wasn't.
8 hours, you got there at 9.
Yeah.
And it's 8 hours, so you probably didn't get home till like maybe
6 a.m.
6 a.m.
Yeah, we left a little early, so probably a little closer to 5. We slept until 10, and then we got up and had our day.
But
and
you
then
didn't any
left
weird dreams?
On Monday. No, I was out like a light.
Yeah.
Because we had arrived to town to take naps at the motel.
Smart.
And then a friend called me and talked to me through my nap period window.
Oh, I hate that.
Yeah, you just don't answer that call.
It was a uniquely bad day for this individual, but
Okay. Well,
I did initially go to call. But
Keith, how you feeling? Do you feel convinced that the paranormal is real?
I've been telling y'all. No, I already knew. This makes me more scared though, because
Should we go?
Fuck no, dog. That's one thing I wouldn't.
Absolutely go back if you.
I would love to go.
What?
We can do an episode from the motel. We can bring cameras.
I'll be at the motel.
I would
Like,
love
Although
to
I
film
would really
that.
recommend just doing the nighttime tour. It's faster, but 8 hours is a very long time.
Yeah.
It's a lot less fun than I was hoping. I kind of thought it was going to be I thought they were going to leave us alone. I thought we would just show up, everyone would just scatter to the four winds of the different parts of the building, and then we would just set up shop. So I made us bring folding chairs.
Yeah.
In the back of the car. I was like, in case I don't want to sit on the ground and I don't want to stand for 8 hours.
yeah.
But then it turned out to be much more organized than I thought.
Yeah. So here's the thing: if we go, we have to bring Mary.
Well, and Matilda wanted.
Matilda
to go.
would obviously come. That'd be yeah. But I just mean we have to bring Mary because I really feel like if ghosts are into her because she's so open.
Oh, there was a ghost on the first floor. Justin was not near us. We were nowhere near any electrical outlets, and it was things were lighting up. He was like a chef or something.
What things were lighting up?
The EMF readers were lighting up. We got she said he pulled her hair or whatever.
Yeah, he pulled her hair. She bit her lip. Okay. Well, I was pretty into that whole story. That is very interesting. Okay, so don't go anywhere. We're gonna do some would you rather, some haunted themed would you rathers in just a moment.
Hidden Craven.
All right, so Caitlin has prepared some haunted themed would you rathers from the book Would You Rather Horror, written by or collected by Sophia Rivers. Shout out Sophie.
I want to be clear.
Sorry.
Sophie at several points just describes the plot of horror movies.
Okay, it doesn't really seem like it's. Would you rather.
Sometimes she doesn't work that hard. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. All right, so you have some picked out for us?
I do.
All right, let's do it. Let's get into this.
Okay. Would you rather discover that today's top hits in music carry hidden messages designed to manipulate and control the population, influencing all your thoughts and actions. Or, whenever you listen to music, it triggers viral, terrifying hallucinations, unraveling the fabric of your reality with each and every listen.
The first one, no doubt. I listen to a lot of music. I went one nothing fucking up.
One of them sounds incredibly inconvenient. And one of them is just like, wouldn't it be spooky if people were being manipulated by music? And the other one's like, what if you were tripping balls every time you listen to music?
That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. That's why I said the first one.
The second one.
You're thinking the second one?
Yeah.
I kind of think the second one because the first one
I don't
sounds
want to
like...
live in a world where everything's getting influenced.
Yeah, but do you know?
We already live in a world where everything is getting in.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's true.
but now I'm aware of it.
Oh, okay. I see what you mean.
I'm going with the second one too because I like shrooms and stuff, and I feel like it would be kind of cool, but terrifying.
See, I feel like with enough earplugs, I could carve out a good life.
Well, you also don't have to listen to music.
Yeah, but music happens to me more than I listen to music.
Yeah, that's fair. I guess every time you get into an Uber,
Every time I just walk into a store.
that's true too.
Fucking all that shit up in the store.
There would be like a horrible, they'd probably stop playing music in the stores.
No, because it's just you.
It's just, who is this one
Oh,
person?
so everyone in the world's getting manipulated, or I'm having terrifying visuals.
Yeah. That's why I'm picking the second one.
Yeah, I guess I'll bite the bullet. I'll bite the bullet there. Okay. Interesting.
Would you rather have your speech and beliefs censored by an unelected group of 7 people, or have your personal thoughts and memories censored or altered by an omnipresent AI plugged into your mind?
I'm going to go with the latter because once again, that's kind of like an ignorance is bliss situation. You know what I mean?
No, you're getting censored either way.
Yeah, but
your memories are getting
One of them
altered.
is like 7 people are like
Right,
bitching
but
about it.
censored means that you're aware.
But how am I aware of the loss of a memory?
But censored.
You're censored. That's what she
You're
means.
like, I really want to believe this, or I do believe this, and then 7 people walk in the room and they go, no, you don't. You can't say that.
It sounds like being married.
To 7 people.
Yeah, I'm a Jehovah's Witness. Wait, that's not Jehovah's Witness. Mormon? I'm Mormon.
Nah, it can be a little bit of Mormon.
It technically be fundamentalist, as the Mormon Church officially does not stand in favor of polygamy.
Okay. I feel like, did you pick any of these with the thought of maybe it
I
could be
thought they
funny?
were funny. I don't know how to tell you that Would You Rather horror, not all of them are a goofing good time.
Keith and I have had some natural Would You Rather horrors
Yeah.
throughout the episodes here, but okay. So wait, did we all decide?
Okay, I'm going to skip this next one because you guys didn't seem into things.
Okay.
Okay. Guys are really bummers. Okay. Would you... Oh, no, that's not what I wanted. All right. You'll love this.
Okay.
Our junior Matt Rife. The number
I'm
of
older,
followers you have equals the number of people watching your every move without your knowing, or your most liked post will be the last words written on your tombstone.
Most like posts.
My most liked post or my most recent?
Your most your recent follower number count following you around all the time, constantly observing you 24/7.
Right.
Or your most liked post being your tombstone.
I don't really know how I feel about having 50,000 people following me around,
funny as shit.
watching my every move. Such a small amount when you can compare me to like
That's
any
so
other.
many people. I want you to imagine just filling a room, this room right now, with that many people.
I mean, impossible.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's so many people.
So do I have to live in a bigger house?
I don't know. Maybe.
Okay. Even if let's say they're watching through a security camera. Or my last post, or I'm sorry, my most liked post.
Your
Most
most
liked.
liked.
Most liked.
I'm definitely going with my most liked post. Because it was a pretty good
I feel
pretty
like
good
the
clip.
reasoning's different, but yes.
So my most liked post is a pretty kind of like profound philosophical joke. And I feel good about that. But 50,000 people following me around just seems like awful. Now, how do you feel about it? Because you would have, what, 7 or 8 people following you? This isn't really how I feel about this. I'm just being
it's
annoying.
okay. What about you?
I think I would do the post.
Why?
Because my captions are pretty dope. And they're not like,
Do you know what
crazy.
your most liked post was about? If you had to guess, you don't have to check, but like if you had to guess.
I don't know. I know I have probably like 3. And they were all, I try to always do like positive shit. Not like too positive, like a quote or something, but like it's usually something like nice and then a happy face.
Yeah. Yeah. And what, like a Facebook status, you think, probably? Or
Something like that, yeah.
okay.
Keith is no longer bisexual.
No, oh my God.
What if it's just a quote from me
What if it was just
saying
happy
laugh
birthday?
externally?
Nah, that didn't. That
Yeah.
I do like that post though.
Happy
'cause
birthday,
it's funny.
Kevin.
Happy birthday, Kevin.
It's probably a picture of cookies.
Nah,
But I think you're right, though, Keith, because no matter what it was that you said that has the most likes, it probably was like a pretty chill message.
yeah, I'm pretty.
For the record, you don't die, right? It's just the last time the world will ever see you. Like,
Yeah, it
on
depends
the
on how you
record.
feel about tombstones.
Oh, it's on your tombstone.
Yeah.
How are they gonna put a 3-minute joke on my tombstone?
They're just going to write the caption.
I say people say it.
But
People.
how are they gonna know how to deliver it? Delivery is, important.
The book's not horror designed for comedians.
What about you?
I would pick the post. I agree with Keith. I stand by everything I've ever written online that I didn't immediately delete afterwards. And we were talking about this beforehand. I don't like that everyone knows me,
Yeah.
and the abject horror I have when someone recognizes me, and I'm not even famous. I'm a no one. I would not compute if they could follow me around all the
Yeah,
time.
I don't think would anyone. Like, I guess if my last post was like,
Imagine for a minute that you didn't have any followers. Your followers were just like 14 people. And
I would
used
still-
to tweet truly horrific, like, jokes.
yeah. I feel like no one would choose the people. Even if it's 3 people, I would still rather be like if it was like Tom Cruise doesn't eat pussy, I'd still rather that be on my fucking tombstone. It's true, by the way.
No, because he has
hilarious.
sex with
Yeah, well, you can eat a fish pussy.
fish. That's what I'm saying. He is.
Yeah. But I'd still rather that on my tombstone. I'd rather anything crazy. I'd rather a drawing of my testicles on my tombstone than 3 people to follow me around the rest of my life. You know?
I don't want one person following me around.
Fair. Yeah, same. Kind of already have that, but Matilda. Anyway,
No.
What?
No, that face wasn't. I don't know who you're talking about.
right. I know. I figured. Okay. That was an interesting one.
That wasn't interesting.
You guys will like this. I picked it because it's about aliens. Would you
Nice.
rather finally get proof of extraterrestrial life, but no one believes you? Or we are alone in the universe, but with advanced convert technologies, our military manipulates public persona or public perception by creating the illusion of UFO sightings.
The first one.
Do I know about the second one?
Yeah, you find out, but you can't tell anyone about it.
Yeah, I'd rather know and no one believe me, because that seems actually kind of what happens anyway.
It's X-Files, baby.
Yeah, I'd rather know and have no one believe me, because I feel like
I would rather the government be illegal, just like smoke and mirrorsing the whole thing. I think the anxiety and frustration of knowing and having no one believe me would drive me crazy.
Nah, because there's a whole bunch of stuff that I know that a whole bunch of people don't know, and I don't,
that's true.
you know.
Yeah, but in this scenario, I finally get proof. I've been wanting proof. I finally have it.
Keith and I don't really
Vindication.
have to pretend that. I really do want proof of aliens.
I know.
You know what I mean? So this resonates with me.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd rather know because I
But I
feel
think a
like
big part of knowing something is other people believing you.
Here's the thing. So, okay, I went to juvie once for something I didn't do. My family to this day doesn't believe I didn't do it, and I've grown. I got over it. You know what I mean? They think I've been lying about this for like 20 years. Not 20, but for like 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually I was just like, okay, it's whatever, you know? So it's
But, like,
similar.
would you rather get proof that you were not lying and you could prove to your family, but you couldn't overturn anything? Or would you rather find out that the government is secretly manipulating people to go to juvie for crimes they didn't commit?
They're doing that in the pipeline.
I know. We do know that.
Yeah, they're kind of already doing all this,
Yeah.
right? Because if you've seen a UFO, everybody's like, have you, Ryan? You know?
But
I
also,
love that you were so skeptical of all of my ghosts, but you were like, aliens for sure real.
Yeah,
If
that's
I had said I had
so
seen a
different.
UFO while I was in this
Because
building, would you have backed
Aliens
me up?
don't live. To accept aliens, you don't have to accept another plane of reality.
I agree. I do think that if enough bad things happen in one place to enough bad things over time to a variety of people, like, I agree that it makes sense that something is a little bit weird about a place.
Yeah.
But agreed, it would just mean that all of Europe is terrifying, right? And like,
Right.
that doesn't make sense.
Yeah. 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 Okay.
I like these.
They're interesting, you know. I will say,
I offered you this book to pick out your own,
I know.
and you said no.
no, it's okay though, because really, I feel like the ghost stories were so entertaining that I don't even, like, at this point, I'm kind of still in that. And these were interesting thoughts. I will say, I do think we should wrap it up, because this has been about an hour and 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And also, I need to pee so badly. Like, it's distracting.
Okay, I'm trying to pick a good one, but they're all kind of bad. According to how you guys have been handling things.
I got one for you.
Okay, because I have the last one.
Would you rather be a ghost who's stuck in normal life for eternity? You can, whether you haunt people, whether you spooky or not, is totally up to you, right? Or would you rather live in a house for the rest of your life with a ghost who is relatively spooky?
That is almost verbatim the one I had picked.
Really?
Essentially. Would you rather be bound to haunting a single place of your choosing for all eternity, or endlessly terrorize an entire bloodline until every descendant perishes?
That's some scary shit.
But to answer your question, I'd rather live in a haunted house and be at peace when death comes for me.
That's true, because one is eternal. There's no promises that you're not going to, what if you die in that house? You might just end up haunting that house.
I have a stage joke about this, but it's very true. As a kid, I did believe I was going to live forever, and it did cause me a tremendous amount of anxiety.
Yeah, I met your God complex joke. I think personally, I would rather see. Eternity seems, I think, kind of cool until you've done it for 200 years, and then you're like, oh my God.
Until you've done it for 20 days.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
being
I was about to say.
haunted while
Do you
you're
not
alive sounds
remember
awful.
March 2020?
What happened in March 2020?
We all got locked inside of our houses.
Oh yeah, yeah, but that was
And
okay.
time lost all meaning.
I'm an introvert. That was okay. I was fine.
You were not fine.
It was fine. It was perfectly fine. It was great. Better than I've ever been. Start another podcast.
But would you rather haunt one single place or terrorize a bloodline? You have to be a ghost.
I have to terrorize them?
Yes, you have to be a ghost. You can either, and you can pick the bloodline. It can be whatever bloodline you want.
So I'm either
Which is dope.
I'm linked to a house or I'm linked to a family?
Yeah.
Until they.
But I don't have
run
to
out of
terrorize the
children.
house.
You can.
I'm just there haunting it.
Well, like you're haunting it. You can choose to be a terror.
See, that's the thing, is that, like, obviously I'd rather, like, if I don't want to terrorize people.
See, I picked the bloodline because the younger generations are not having as much sex, and so
Keith?
we're gonna run out of kids.
No, I'm listening.
It looked like you were falling asleep just
No,
now,
I'm
looking me in the eyes. You
I'm listening.
snored
What would you pick?
very briefly.
I'm definitely picking the bloodline because you get to pick. Because I'm waiting for y'all to ask me.
So you took a brief nap.
No, I'm like listening to y'all. So I'm like, y'all can't wait to kill him with this shit. I'm picking a bloodline, but I'm picking like somebody like a family that's so fucked up and just killing them all off. Like I'm haunting them till I'm killing them all off.
Yeah, but then you have to be a dick. What if, and you're not a dick. So what if you?
So
Yeah,
He
but,
could be a dick if he needed to.
I mean, you don't have to be a dick to kill a whole blood family off. Like
You don't have to kill them. You
Or you
just
just
get to
haunt them,
ruin
yeah.
them.
and you definitely do have to
Yeah.
be a dick to kill a whole bloodline.
No,
What do you-
again, you don't have to kill them.
If I don't have to
No,
kill
I know,
them,
I'm
I'm
just saying,
definitely
keep-
picking. Yeah, I'm definitely.
But you have to be
picking.
terrorizing them. What if one of them is a child?
Well, I'll
Now
wait
wait
for
till
him to
he
grow
grow
up.
up.
I think that's an option. You have to be terrorizing. You can terrorize the older people.
Yeah.
I don't know. That seems like a dick move. I'd rather just be chilling on a couch watching TV
I pick Bloodline
with
because
Dave.
it ends, right? If I can ruin these people's lives enough that they stop having children,
Yeah.
Like anytime a woman brings over a man, you got to be like,
ooh,
Yeah, get
and
the
just
fuck
like
out.
slam all the
Yeah,
doors.
no.
Then I can be done.
Don't put that condom
she's
on.
crazy.
You'd hate it here.
Seriously, bro.
Put the condom on.
Yeah,
You're just slipping little ectoplasmic condoms on.
that seems a bit much.
Yeah. Well, you're already haunting.
I mean, if you're gonna be a ghost, either way, just get your hair ready. Get your hands ready to run through Mary's hair.
Well, I think you guys are assholes. I'm just gonna haunt a house forever. Granted, because people will eventually leave the house.
They tear down houses,
but-
bruh.
yeah, but then I'm off the hook.
No,
No, you're not.
you're
You're
stuck
gonna be-
in that spot forever.
Yeah, you go. What if they build
Well,
a
what am I-
Staples there or some shit?
That's
Or
even better. That's
or a
That's
Lidl.
so much worse. You want to
Or a
hang out at
Lidl.
Staples forever?
knocking
No,
over
I
papers
want
and
to.
shit. They gentrify the fuck out of it and build a Whole Foods. I'm throwing nothing but sunflower Reese cups at people.
I just feel like your guys' answers. You have a selfish answers. Okay, you're trying to ruin this whole family.
It's not selfish.
It's selfish because I'd rather fall on the sword and be chilling at Staples for eternity.
That's selfish.
They're gonna build something else there eventually. Also, you know what I mean? What if one day it's a movie theater and then I'm just entertained all day?
Until you see all the fucking movies.
Yeah, but I mean, they're gonna be new movies.
You making up excuses.
I
at
can
this
haunt the
point.
theater, but I don't have to be a dick about it. I could just be like, ooh.
Again, we don't have to. We're choosing to be dicks to the Bloodline family.
Because we
No, it sounds
picking
like you have
fucked
to
up
be
families.
a dick. If you choose that option, you have to be a dick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't want to
We
be a dick.
pick good quality families
Yeah.
that were worth haunting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think we call it a day.
I think we do.
Caitlin, thank you very much for
Thank you so
coming
much for
on the
having
old
me.
pod, the old POD. I think people are going to be freaking terrified.
If they made it this far.
Yeah. And you should follow Caitlin on social media.
Yes.
What are you shout out your social medias real quick?
I'm on Instagram at Caitlin_McDevitt, and I'm on TikTok at McDevitt Comedy.
McDevitt.
Yes.
Goddamn, you get very good at that.
Spelling?
Yes.
Yeah.
That was dead on.
All right. Well, freaking A. I've been Jack Schwartz.
Keith Corey.
And you can follow us on TikTok at Shrimp and Grits Pod, on Instagram at Shrimp and Grits Pod, on YouTube at the Shrimp and Grits Podcast. You can friggin' follow us on Spotify, Apple TV. Well, you're already doing that. You've already done it. You've already found us.
Well, maybe they found you somewhere else.
Well, we're on Spotify, Apple, Google, and yeah, this has been a pleasure.
Hell yeah.
I'm so tired and I have to pee so bad.
So
Okay.
Caitlin killed it last night at the Don't Tell Comedy. Oh my God, it was amazing.
Oh my god.
Yes.
It was a good show.
Well, good job. All right. Love you guys. Bye.